These are stories of outdoor adventure and expert advice from folks with calloused hands. I'm James Nash, and this is the Six Ranch Podcast. This episode of the Six Ranch Podcast is brought to you by Defend Security Cameras. What's a bad bear?
What's a bad bear?
Yeah.
Oh, a bear that's running dogs down.
What's that mean?
You know, like the dogs can start it to an extent. They can start the fight. The bear will try to get up a tree, and the dogs will grab him, you know?
Yeah.
But there's bears that just, right off the gate, they want to fight.
Yeah.
That's a bad bear.
And do you think, is that like previous interactions with wolves or dogs or their interactions with other bears? Like, what makes a bear a fighter rather than a flighter?
It's hard to say because I've been in the backcountry.
Yeah.
Like on bears that have never had any experience with hounds.
Yeah.
You know? So it'd have to be wolves.
Yeah.
Or that bear's just got a bad attitude by nature.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You never know, like, what happened with that animal the night before.
Yeah.
Just what kind of mood they're in and what's been going on in their life.
Yeah.
So sitting here in a wall tent in North Idaho at the end of July, bear hunting with Ben Vidal from Mammoth Outfitters. I've talked to very few people who even know that you can hunt bears in Idaho in July.
Really?
Yeah. It's
I
not
just
common
got
knowledge.
asked that question today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really not common knowledge. There's so many hunting opportunities around the world and around our country that people sleep on, that they just don't understand. This is an over-the-counter tag.
Yep.
You know, I bought it at a hardware store on my way here.
Yeah.
And this is a really cool hunt. It surprised me in so many ways. And I didn't have much in the way of expectation at all. You know, I knew very little information about what was going to happen here, which is pretty common for me. And I don't ask a lot of questions. I just kind of pack up my stuff and roll.
Communication wasn't great between us either. I was just like...
But also, you live in the woods. In a lot of ways, you're as much a mountain man as anybody I've ever met. in what people think that a mountain man is.
Yeah.
And in the modern sense of it, you're making your living in the woods.
Yeah.
You're doing so through hunting now, but you've made your living in the woods your whole life.
Entire life.
Yeah. Tell me about the early stages. You told me that you come from a big family, you were homeschooled, and that you quit school at a pretty early age.
Yeah. I was about 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom just couldn't keep us in the house. She was having a hard time trying to homeschool us, me and my brother. My sister was good. She's a doll still to this day, but
yeah.
We were just kind of hellions. Not terrorizing the country or nothing. We just wanted to be in the woods all the time, you know? Mm-hmm. So my dad says, go get a job.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
What was your first job?
Decorative rock. Mixing mud and packing rock. We did a lot of houses on Coeur d'Alene Lake, Cougar Bay, stuff like that for family.
So like retaining wall type stuff?
No, like big chimneys.
Okay.
Big fireplace stuff. A lot of like high-end houses on Coeur d'Alene Lake and stuff.
And how does a 14-year-old know how to do something like that?
You had to learn real fast.
Yeah.
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 And we were just packing mud and you know, packing rock. 20 flights of stairs, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, big houses.
When did you start logging?
16.
And what was that logging job like?
First one was on a jammer, a homemade jammer. You know what a jammer is? It's just like a 2-ton truck, and you build a little 25-foot boom on it.
Okay.
It's like an A-frame boom, and you can skid 400 feet. And it's all on the ground on a haulback system, so there's no skyline.
Okay.
And skid line.
Yep.
It's all on a haulback system. You run your line down there, do like a squirrel block.
Okay.
We were running tongs.
What's a squirrel block?
Just a shiv block down there for the line to run through.
Okay, and you attach that to like a big stump or something?
Big stump, big high stump, or a standing tree. And the bigger the tree, the more you can get away with lift, you know.
And then once you cut and limb a tree, how do you attach it to that line?
chokers. We were using tongs though. Tongs are unheard of anymore.
Yeah.
Like what the old timers used.
Yeah.
It's just it's got really sharp teeth on it that'll bite the heck out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. The harder you pull, the tighter she bites.
Yeah. So you'd set those tongs on the log, and then you'd have a cable that ran over to that main line.
Yep.
And then your jammer truck would winch that log up the hill.
Yep. And in the old days, they did log lengths only, so the sawyer would follow everything side hill. And then you'd buck logs out of it, limb them, buck logs out of it. But we were skidding mostly tree lengths with it. We were in like a pine patch.
Okay.
Yep.
What's a log length?
Whatever the mill's calling for.
Like 1610s?
16.6, 33, 27s, 25s, stuff like that. The log lengths are getting ridiculous anymore. There's like some guys are on like a 7-way sort.
Oh, really?
This stuff, yeah.
Huh.
The mills are changing a lot.
Does that make the mills more efficient in what they can cut out of it, or why would they do that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's got more complicated. Even the hauling, like we were just talking about yesterday. We were on a burn salvage sale on Sunrise Creek out of Superior. Mm-hmm. They were hauling them logs clear to up north of Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah, there's a lot fewer mills than there used to be.
Yep.
Lots of these.
That has a lot to do with it, yeah.
Lots of these small towns had mills, and then that was the reason that the town got started, is that there's plenty of timber around. And then you'd have a mill at like the end of a spur line for a railroad and get everything cut into lumber and then put it on those trains and go out. But those spur lines were pretty inefficient. They lost a lot with switching fees and stuff like that in order to get onto the main lines. And then that lumber just wasn't worth much by the time it got to where it was going.
Right.
So the spur lines dried up, and then the mills dry up because they can't afford the trucking. And then we're in the situation where we are now, where a lot of the timber sales have shut down since the early 90s on public land.
Right.
Mills dry up even more, and the private timber folks there's not enough money in it for them to truck their logs 150, 200 miles.
That's right.
And, we're in a bad situation where our forests are getting really choked up because people can't afford to cut the trees in them and make any money.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of this country needs logged bad.
Yeah.
They can't even keep up with it.
You ever have any close calls logging?
Yeah. Plenty of close calls.
Anything stick out?
Yeah. Got, broke hands several times.
How'd that happen?
Just limbs coming out and hitting you.
Well, you're
Had a log roll over me one time, broke my hand and mashed all the tendons in my wrists and everything.
The whole log rolled over you?
Yeah. And then...
What were you doing downstream of a rolling log?
Just setting chokers and log length strip. And I watched a guy one time, and I had cut the strip too, and I was getting ready to head out for the day. I was done cutting. They had a couple hours left in the day. And guy was, they had 2 guys in the brush pre-setting on a log length strip. We were just log lengthing some of it, 70% of it was tree length, but they were hooking log lengths. And I'm standing on the deck talking to the yarder man, and, just heard him, Ryan Morris is his name, heard him start screaming down there, and log rolled over him, just tore him up bad. It was mashed his ankle all up, broke his foot and his ankle. I don't think he broke anything else, but it was bad. Just crushed his whole foot and ankle. That was a big weight for a log.
It's a dangerous job.
It is. Yep. I've been knocked out and dislocated shoulder, and that one smashed the whole side of my hard hat flat.
Yikes.
Hit me in the shoulder. It was
metal hard hat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Taking a quick break here. I can hear that bottle crinkling a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're all right. Were you ever on a logging job where there was a fatality?
Let me think. Yeah. Not on our site, but on a adjacent site. Yeah. Yeah. We had a kid. He was a young kid. Tanner was his name. He was working the deck and had a big turn come in that was all tree lengths, but it had one log in it. Mm-hmm. And the yarder man slammed that in the deck, and he was too close, and he was standing up against the tracks. And that log just, they do weird things. Logs can you never know what they're going to do. and that log came out of the deck sideways and smashed him up against the track, broke his femur all to crap.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, that was a wild one. They came in and flew him right off the landing. We had to pack him, a couple 100 yards, but they came in and flew him out.
I don't think people look around at the invisible studs in their house that they can't see, that are covered up by siding and drywall, and think about the men who are out there in the forest risking life and limb to make a living in the woods, and how much blood is soaked into that wood.
Yeah.
And
I've always said that nobody knows what we do out there,
Yeah. And that's okay. You're not logging so that you can get credit for it, but you just don't want to work in town.
Yeah.
When did you start running dogs?
Oh, we had some old timers growing up and some uncles that did it, and kind of started there. Wanted dogs, as a young kid, but just never could. We had some family dogs and stuff. We had an old hound dog that just kind of never left a chain as kids. Mm-hmm. But went with those guys and stuff, and they were wild. They'd climb up a tree and poke a lion with a stick, and it was just cool. Fell in love with it as a kid, but it's been about 15 years, something like that. I guess I've had my own dogs.
And you're 33 now?
Yeah.
So tell me about getting that first dog, or did you get one to start with, or did you get a couple?
Oh, got a couple, from those guys. And then that's kind of a tough question because I went through so many puppies.
Yeah.
So many dogs over that first, 5-year period, just trying to find something that was natural, and fast and gritty and had it all,
What are the traits that you look for in a hound running in this country? And I'll do my best to describe this area. You've got lots of steep river canyons, very steep. It's a really wet climate where everything is green. There's lots of ferns. There's huge trees. I've seen cedar trees here that are 8 foot plus in diameter, trees that are over 150 foot tall. Lots of spruce. Other places there's tamarack and pine. There's alders that are really thick. It's tough country to move around in, and I bet that a lot of people, honestly, would struggle to make it a quarter mile in this country if they weren't on a trail or a road.
That's a true statement.
Yeah.
It's just tough. The brush fights you more than anything. Everybody looks at it and says, man, this is steep, but it's really the brush that fights you. It'll wear you out.
Yeah.
And blow down, like especially now.
The first bear that we treat, I think, was just over a quarter mile from the road.
Yeah.
And, it took us 45 minutes to get up there.
Yeah.
And
tough.
Yeah, I was sweating out of everywhere by the time we got to that tree.
You get around good though.
Yeah.
Especially with them slipper shoes. I'm going to try them.
Yeah. Well, you might like it. You might hate it.
Yeah.
It's also really beautiful. So in this country where you've got the occasional grizzly, lots of black bears, you've got wolves, you've got bobcats, you've got cougars. What are you looking for in a dog? Kind of let's start at the puppy level. Maybe somebody has that where the red ferns grow type of dream, and they want to get a couple puppies, and that's what they're working towards, and they want to learn how to be a houndsman. What should they be looking for?
You better be looking for a guy that can prove it, because there's so many puppy farms out there, and a lot of guys that think they've got pretty nice dogs and they don't, or maybe that the guy's got, those top 10%er dogs, but he just can't hunt enough, but you just better be looking for somebody that can prove it. So you need, one way or another.
You need a credible breeder to start with. Yeah. Hopefully somebody who's hunting also, right? You don't want to just buy from a breeder.
Somebody that hunts hard. That's what I mean. They got to be able to prove it.
Yeah.
And there's guys out there, there's a lot of good dogs out there. But there's a lot more bad dogs. There's a lot more junk out there than just too much out there.
So then you get there, and you got a litter of these little hound dog puppies, and they're all cuter than heck. And what are you looking for within that litter that you're going to be selecting?
Well, hopefully 90% of them turn out good, but I like a pup that gets out there, a confident pup. The pup that's the least jumpy when I fire off a 22 pistol when they're feeding, or I like ornery, nasty pups that are just mean-spirited, In a female. A male is a little different. I don't like a male that's just looking for a fight all over the place. Because that can be cured.
That gets worse as they get older.
And it can be cured, especially if it's a pup that you're raising yourself. You get a pup from somebody else that's, 5 months old and he's already got a bad attitude problem. That can be tough, but
yeah. Okay, so you're looking for some independence, you're looking for some grit. Now, as that dog develops and you start training it, what are you looking for to show you, okay, this 5-month-old puppy, like he's going to be somebody, or she's going to be somebody. Like this is going to be a dog in the pack.
Those pups that just have, those young dogs that just have a lot of drive.
Yeah.
You turn them loose and they just want to go. Whether you got to pick them up in the bottom of a canyon or whatever. Just those pups that just have a ton of drive. I like super high drive, irritatingly hard-headed. I like hard-headed, stubborn dogs that don't hold a grudge. Just tough, a lot of heart.
It sounds like you're looking for a dog that's like you.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Could be.
Because you've got to have a lot of grit to do this job too.
Yeah.
And this isn't something you can do casually.
Yeah.
It's not a shotgun that you can just pick up out of your safe when it comes to be that time of year. It's a year-round thing.
Yeah.
You've got to be a dog person first.
And if you're going to hunt hard in this country, you gotta have dogs that when you put them down there, that they're going to catch.
A lot of people, when they think about hound hunting, they're thinking about, a Toyota pickup with a dog box in the back, and you're driving down some roads in the snow looking for tracks, and you find a fresh track and set your dogs out on it with some Garmin collars on, and away they go, and you follow the dogs until they get an animal up a tree. You do a lot of long range hunting where you're going out and doing 20-mile days on foot with your dogs.
My favorite way to hunt.
That's pretty interesting.
I love it.
Tell me a little bit more about that.
I started walk hunting with them, trying to catch more bobcats. Was kind of where that started. Because you're right with the dogs, and I would do it when there was a skiff of snow, just walk hunting a whole bunch, pick out a trail, and just take a day walk, and get them started and, get them rangy. It helps if you've got dogs that are already naturally rangy. They're just gamey and want to go find game. But that's kind of how I started, but I always loved walking around in the backcountry, so I started just, how long can I go, with these dogs and take a gallon Ziploc bag with me full of dog food,
What else would be in your pack? Because you might be out there for a couple of days.
I eat a lot of fish, so I don't pack a ton of food because I'm, I just take that's the most I've ever taken was a gallon Ziploc bag of dog food. You get 5 days. The dogs will lose weight. Mm-hmm. A little bit, especially if you catch 2 or 3 or 4 bears, maybe a lion. If you catch 2 bears, they might lose a little less weight, but you just feed them up when you get back to the truck. But I kind of started doing that walk hunting stuff.
I'm talking about for yourself.
Just freeze-dried meals. Yeah. And I'll take, like I was telling you, those just regular Lay's potato chips, smash them up into a powder, throw some peanut butter in there, stuff like that. Trail mix. Yeah. I make my own trail mix. Jerky. Always got to have jerky. I don't like sweet stuff a ton, so I got to have spicy, like every other day. Salty stuff. Maybe a couple sweet things, but I don't do candy bars or like those gels or anything like that.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But I eat a lot of fish, like ramen. Eat a ton of ramen. He knows that.
And last night you were out and had probably done, 15 miles or so.
It was 9.2 each way, so I did 18, something like that.
18 miles and change, and you just slept on the ground.
Yeah, not for very long.
With your pack on.
I woke up freezing my tail off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, we're still at it today. What did we treat this week? 4 bears?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 4 bears, and I shot one with my 5. Yeah.
Yeah. They treed this one too. It's
lots
just
of bears. Yeah.
still out there.
Shot one with my 10 mil. It was awesome. Bringing back a bunch of bear meat and bear fat, and gonna take the hide and the skull to a taxidermist. So maybe a year and a half from now, I'll have another bear hide in the podcast studio.
It's beautiful.
You've got 20 acres, and your security camera can see about 50 feet from your Wi-Fi router. Your gate, your barn, your equipment, all the places you actually need to monitor, they're exactly where your Wi-Fi doesn't reach. That's where Defend security cameras make a lot of sense. They work on cellular, just like your phone. But here's what's clever. They've got an embedded SIM card that automatically connects to the best network in your area. Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile. It finds whatever's strongest. No choosing providers, no contracts, no hassle. I'm using Defend cameras at my place. You mount it, open the Defend app on your phone, and you're done. 10 minutes. Clear footage, night vision, instant alerts, and here's something you need to know. Defend doesn't sell your data. Not to China, not to tech companies, not to anyone. They work for you, period. Defend your place.
They're amazing animals. What's something about bears that you admire?
Man, everything. They're fun to watch. They're incredible. Just everything. They're just a super neat critter, you know.
A lot of people think that hound hunting is mean spirited and that you're torturing the animals.
Never.
I know that to not be the case. What I know about you in particular is that you have a tremendous amount of respect for these animals.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Idaho doesn't make you eat bear meat. Do you ever leave bear meat in the woods?
No, that's something we don't. Doesn't happen. It should be, it should be illegal, but I wish they'd change that.
Yeah.
It's a waste. They're delicious, I mean, that's and super healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, and even more so over the last 4 or 5 years, people are getting more and more paranoid about trichinosis, just because it's come to light more,
Yeah, it's so wildly misunderstood, and it all came from, for better or worse, a popular personality and podcast who tried to convince everybody that all the trichinosis in the country is coming from bears, which a fair bit of it does. What people don't understand is that it's a really small percentage of bears that have trichinosis. And something I've been personally pushing for are test kits so that you can submit a sliver of your bear's tongue, and then a lab can determine if it has trichinosis or not. Most indications are that it's around 3% of bears that actually have trichinosis in the lower 48.
Yep.
So very, very uncommon. That said, you still want to, if you haven't had that tested, you want to cook your bear meat to at least 145 degrees internal temperature and hold it at that temperature for a few minutes.
Yep.
And then you're going to be safe from it. Trich isn't something anybody wants to get.
Absolutely not. It's easily avoided.
But it's easily avoided.
You can freeze it for a certain amount of time too. I don't have those numbers off the top of my head, but you.
And there's 2 different types of trich. So there's a northern one that is cold tolerant,
right,
and a southern one that is not cold tolerant. So you can freeze trichinosis out of it in some of these warmer climates.
Yeah.
But if you shoot a bear in Alaska and it is positive for trichinosis, then you can't freeze that out.
Okay.
And I've been looking for a person who's an expert in this to have on the show. So if anybody knows somebody who is a sure enough expert, please send them my way, because I would like to work on getting this testing established in the same way that we're testing for CWD. Like, let's go ahead and everybody's bringing their bears in to get them checked. Let's just submit a tongue sample at the same time and see, how many of these bears actually have it, and start putting some of these crazy myths to rest, because it's a little bit unfair, and we just need better information out there. And the way to get it is through science.
Absolutely.
What's the longest race you've ever been on where you caught the animal?
I had some 8-9 hour deals. Yeah, we had one in here last year that went like 10 hours, and we ended up killing that bear on the ground. But that was a heck of a, and it was in the heat too. And you can't. That's another thing in this country. When you turn dogs loose, like a lot of guys will pack dogs in, and that's how I grew up hunting. I just dump them all every time.
Yeah.
And you got to have dogs that can handle that 5-6 days a week, and that are fast enough to catch quick, because you can't have a 5-6 hour race 5 times a week. You got to have fast dogs.
What the first, it was the second bear we treed. We were going up the hill, and dogs were at the base of the tree, and it looked like the bear was going to come out of the tree. And I had just stopped to catch my breath, and it was steeper than a cow's face. And when you saw that bear starting to come out of the tree, you moved like nobody I've ever seen move in the woods. It was like a comic book character. And you went into 4-wheel drive mode, and you put both hands on the ground, and you like sprint, climb, slithered so freaking fast. You looked like slippery camouflage lightning going up the hill.
That's from running from shit all the time logging. You get pretty quick.
That is a logger scramble. Yep. Now that you say it, it's like, the top's coming out of the tree.
Yeah, you get pretty quick.
About to be barber chaired. No, that was really, really impressive. And I know you're tired too. Not so much as me, because you're doing this every day. But you really hauled.
Yeah.
Dude, this stuff is so freaking fun. So freaking fun. So you offer hunts over bait. You offer bear hunts, bobcat hunts, and cougar hunts with dogs.
Yep, and the bear hunts are 100% guaranteed, but that's if you include the dogs. If you just want a bait hunt, which we try to stay away from just bait hunts.
Yeah,
bait only hunts. We'll do it, but if you got to include the dogs for 100% guaranteed. If you don't take a bear home, you come back for free.
I think people might be surprised at what is your preferred bear gun.
Yeah.
What is it?
I pack a 357 all the time, but a 20 gauge shotgun is it for me.
20 gauge shotgun.
Yep.
Yeah. With slugs.
Yep. Yeah. A slug that's not going to over penetrate. You don't want to use like a wad cutter type deal.
Okay. So you just like the regular rifled slugs.
Yep. Like a ballistic tip. I started using them. They're a hollow point ballistic tip, and they do really well.
Who makes those?
Hornady makes them.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple different ammo manufacturers that make them, but those Hornady ones work pretty good.
20 gauge slugs are deadly on a lot of stuff.
They are. Yep. And you can like just run a cheap beater 20 gauge pump shotgun, and you're using it for a walking stick. You might fall in the creek with it, and they just run.
Yeah. I didn't know, like I said, at all what I was getting into. So I brought 7 PRC, which is kind of my go-to bear gun for the spot and stock stuff that I'm used to, where I might have to shoot a bit of distance.
100%.
But it's a real light folding stock gun that I can just throw in my pack.
Yeah.
And I brought my lever action 4570, which is my guide gun.
Which is a dang good bear gun.
What I carry, and it's real short, and I can shove it in my pack as well. Yeah. And I brought a 10 mil pistol, and I told you that night one, like, what should I carry? And looking at this brush, I'm like, well, it ain't going to be the 7 PRC. I can't see far enough to be able to shoot that thing in most places. And you said, pistol's a pretty good idea. And I'm real comfortable with this gun. So I was happy to hear that. And that's less weight that I have to carry. Yeah. And it's right there on my chest, ready to roll. Yeah,
it's a weight thing. And like watching guys try to carry a bow through this country is like, I feel bad for them. It's and I've done it, but it's just like, it's a pain in the butt, especially when there's snow on all this stuff. Yeah. And it's ridiculous.
Have you had a guy show up to the tree with a bow yet, and he's lost all of his arrows somewhere?
Oh, yeah. We had an arrow fall out of a quiver last year, and there was two friends, a guy and a gal, and Kelly was walking behind her, and I was in front, walking through some of that thick tag alder. Mm-hmm. We're on an old spur road, and I just heard, ouch, and turned around. Kelly's like, you better get back here. So I walk back there, and all I see is an arrow shaft sticking out of this gal's leg, you know. But this guy was running expandables, luckily, and she just got like the last, just the tip. But I mean, we just wrapped her up and we got out of there. But it was spooky, All I seen was an arrow shaft sticking out of her leg. I'm like, oh man! And that was like the 4th time that day that he had lost an arrow or two. So
yeah. If it was a real broadhead, she might have been in big trouble.
No doubt.
Well, we've got to give a bit of a shout out to young Kelly here.
Absolutely.
One of your guides, 26-year-old gal, has been hunting with dogs her whole life, and she's pretty darn handy. I would hunt with her anywhere, anytime, and she's an absolute go-getter, very sweet personality, and lives and breathes for this stuff. And I can tell that her highest priority in life is having good dogs and using them to chase bears and cougars and bobcats. And it's pretty freaking cool to see somebody commit to something so hard and be so passionate about it, not showing a bunch of skin on Instagram and just straight up getting after it in the woods.
Yep, she's a real deal.
Yeah. What can people expect when they show up to this camp?
Oh, pretty good food, especially when you're here. No, my wife cooks. She's and even if Kelly's cooking, good food. Don't let me cook it. Nice dog work, big, beautiful country, lots of wildflowers. We treat you like family.
Staying in a meadow next to this little mountain stream.
Yep.
It's a beautiful place.
Yep.
It's got to be one of the only places in the West right now that is cool here at the end of July. Like, it's high enough and it's just cool, Yeah.
And there's water running out of every crack, so that helps.
Bright, clear water.
Yeah.
I'm staying in another wall tent, a couple cots set up in there. It feels really like a family elk camp hunting vibe with some extra luxuries. We've got a freezer for bear meat and a generator that we can crank up for that.
I got a shower and everything back there too. You just flip a light switch, you got hot water. That's nice for people.
That is nice.
So
I haven't used it yet.
I should have walked it back there.
Well, I saw it. I know what a shower is, but just a little bit smelly. I'm at hunting camp. It's all right. We're all friends here. And it does, I've been fortunate to hunt so many places. It does really feel like I'm just hunting with buddies here. And that's a really cool thing. It's not a bunch of rigmarole and stuck up process. Like, everything that I've asked, is it okay if I do this? Where a lot of folks would probably tell me no. You've been like, sure. That first bear we treed, when we finally got up the hill to it, it was in a really thick tree that we couldn't really tell, how big this bear was, even whether it was a boar or a sow. And you said, I think I'm going to have to climb up this tree right next to it so that I can get a look at it. And I was like, man, I want to do that, but there's no way he's going to let me climb up that tree, And I said, can I climb up there? And he said, absolutely.
You betcha. And
pretty soon it was me and you and your 14-year-old son, Jake, who's been hunting with us. And all three of us were, eyeball to eyeball with this bear that was 6 feet away in another tree. And that will be a core memory in my life. That was so much fun. It's a sow. Cool. We're not going to shoot this bear. This isn't what we're looking for. It was morning one. It was awesome. And, we climbed back out of the tree, got the dogs and left.
Yep.
And before we had even made it back, the dogs took off and went and treated another bear, and it's like, wow. This is awesome.
That's the hardest part about coming off a tree half the time. If you're more than 400 yards from the road, is getting them to the truck with you without catching another bear. That's part of it.
Yeah.
So rangy dogs.
When we checked my bear in town today, the lady said that she'd checked in 73 bears this year out of this area. You've got a great bear population.
Yep, for sure.
Which is obviously, if you didn't, you wouldn't be offering 100% success rate on bears either.
Yeah, and a lot of that is the dogs.
Yeah,
we're just really successful with. You got to have some nice dogs, but because then it's more just more controlled.
Yeah.
You know, like you could have a bad day and just have somebody sit on bait for 3 hours in the evening and not have, you know, which is rare to not have a bear come in, but it can happen. But it doesn't, unless it's pouring rain, I can find you a bear.
Yeah.
You know.
What does the rain do?
Just, I've had dogs, you know, I've watched this with my own eyes, and you can catch bears in the rain, but I'm talking like a downpour.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched dogs from across the canyon come out of a clear cut, hit a little grassy road, and they're, about ready to catch this bear on the ground. You know, they're 50 yards behind him. And I had this thunderstorm rolling over me, just a downpour, and it got over them dogs, and they just went to trailing. You know, I've only seen that once with my own eyes. I watched that whole thing happen. But I've had it happen other times too.
What do you mean they went to trailing?
Just they were jumped running that bear, and that it was raining so hard that it was washing that scent out right in front of their face.
Gotcha.
They had to go back to trailing. You know, tail wagging, popping, nose on the ground, trailing, trying to run it. You know, they'd overrun it 50 yards and then come back and have to go back to trailing. And yeah, it was wild. I just let them go to see what would happen. And that was luckily a small thunderstorm. It wasn't real big, and they trailed through that and ended up closing that distance again and catching that bear. But it turned to, at what should have been an hour and a half race. They already jumped. They were about ready to catch that bear, and it took them another 3-4 hours to catch back up and pressure that bear into a tree.
How big is this hunting area you're in?
It's big. It's 290 squared.
290 square miles?
Yeah.
Wow. That's freaking huge.
Yeah.
And you've got some high lakes in here as well?
Yeah, we've got 3 you can drive to and 14 others.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. 14. Just there's a few in there that are like, I call them no-name lakes.
Yeah.
You know, they're just little dinkers. But
I think it's pretty cool that somebody like the spectrum of physical ability could come here and sort of have the hunt that they want.
Yeah.
So if you have really limited physical ability, you're going to be able to come here and whether it's sitting on a bait or finding a situation where, a bear is going to get treed close enough to a place that you can access easily, you can do it. And if you're a go-getter and you want to go put on a 20-mile day and hike with these dogs into these really remote areas and some of these lakes, you can do that. There's great fishing here as well. And we've been smashing these beautiful cutthroat trout, good fly fishing. And I heard rumors of a lake here that's got like some bluegill and some warm water species.
Yeah, we've caught perch out of there, bluegill, crappie.
Cool.
There'd be smallmouth in there once in a while.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's so freaking neat. Can you believe that you've made it to a point where the thing that you're passionate about has become your profession and that your family gets to be a part of it?
I'm very blessed. I couldn't be happier. The people I've met along the way,
Yeah.
People that have helped me out, and it's great.
Tell me about this deal where something was killing a bunch of deer in town and they called you in to help out with it.
Oh yeah, that was last winter. We had somebody told us about a deer that was killed right behind town, and we just kind of thought, oh, it's probably a juvenile lion, we don't want to mess with it. But we went back there, and it was a pretty fresh kill, and there was a bobcat track there. It was rotten snow, just that it slid off the roof of that house.
Mm-hmm.
No snow anywhere else, just dirt. So we're like, oh, well, we'll turn loose on it. We don't know what it is, It could be that bobcat just feeding on that kill. Maybe we'll catch that bobcat. And we turned loose on it, and the dogs, did a few circles and got jumped pretty quick and burned that cat up and ended up treeing it, not 500 yards from town. So that was pretty cool. And this deer was buried right up against somebody's house.
Really?
Yep. And it looked like a lion kill, that bobcat had, and when we further inspected it, it was that bobcat that killed that deer.
And
it was an old tom.
Had it killed multiple deer?
Just one.
Just one?
Yep.
Huh. Right in town?
Yep.
Crazy.
Yep. I've caught a lot of those big tom bobcats off deer kills.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think they kill a lot more deer than what people give them credit for.
They do. Yeah.
Yeah. If bobcats were bigger, they'd rule the world.
Absolutely. They're such a neat critter.
So glad that saber-toothed tigers are extinct.
No doubt.
That'd be a bad deal.
You'd need a lot of dogs.
It'd be a bad deal. Well, maybe you'd have great big dogs then.
Yeah,
you'd be hunting saber-toothed tigers with dire wolves or something.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. What's kind of next for Mammoth Outfitters? Like, how do you see this operation changing over time? You know, you're a guy who I feel like you're stuck in this limbic place, not limbic, in this awkward place between very traditional old school methods of hunting and some modern equipment, and suddenly we're in a world where we have satellite communication and GPS collars, and you're always looking for ways to improve, but you're always also looking to hold on to tradition. So where do you see this outfit going in the next few years?
I mean, I kind of just keep rolling with the punches, but I'm pretty stubborn and, keeping things old school and traditional, and you won't see me packing a inReach into the backcountry anytime soon, but we just want to keep it quality and not quantity, and just keep it small. Mm-hmm. Start doing some more mule deer hunts. Yeah. We want to get into drop camp hunts a little more and stuff like that.
And if people are flying in here, where do they fly into?
Spokane has a lot more options, but Missoula's way better. Like, I'll give you a discount if you fly into Missoula.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you pick people up from the airport?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, we do.
Or they can rent a car and drive out here.
Yeah, and I've looked at getting taxis to pick people up. I had a taxi pick a guy up last week, but it's twice the price, for a taxi versus me coming to get you.
Yeah.
So I charge a little bit for it, but it's a lot less than getting a taxi to bring you to St. Mary's or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, some of the places I go on these spearfishing trips, I've got 5-hour taxi rides.
Yeah.
It gets, even in third world countries, it gets pretty darn expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, that makes it pretty convenient if people just have to get to the airport and then you're going to go get them and drop them off again. Do they need to bring their own guns?
Some guys do, some guys don't. If you don't want to bring your own gun, I've got plenty.
Yeah.
Some long guns. And if you got the legs for it, spot and stock can be successful in this country too in the spring, or when the berries are on. It really can. And we'll take the dogs with us. I've done that plenty where you can go with the intention of spot and stock, and then you get back there and just sit with the dogs in your glass, and maybe you've already caught a bear that day that you passed on, and you're going to go glass up some stuff that's super long range late in the evening, something like that. We can walk the dogs over there and start the bear. I mean, I've been known to cross some pretty nasty canyons and go up to bears that are, out of range.
And what months are you hunting across species?
All winter, November through March is lion season. You get 2 months of bobcat kill season in there, and then May 1st through July 31st is our kill season for bear. That's kind of our spring summer season, and then September 1st through October 10th is fall season, and then November too. But I mean, it's just I've caught I caught over a dozen bears in November one year, but I was just in the right place at the right time.
So really, outside of what would it be, April and August, you're pretty much hunting.
A lot of hunting. Yeah, April, August, and October. If we get some rifle elk guys or something, then we'll do that.
Oh, so
did a moose hunt last year.
You do a bit of elk hunting as well?
We're trying to do it. Trying to do more. We just got the tag allocation thing's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just getting hunters to actually draw tags.
Yeah.
Do you get outfitter tags here?
Yeah, we get allocated tags. And it's getting rolling with that when you're a new outfitter.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Just understanding the process and the paperwork.
Yeah. And you've got to... I'm going to have a brain fart on the process, but it's tough to get them. You've got to have guys... you've got to show that you can use them.
Yeah.
Before you can get a bunch of them.
Gotcha. Well, you'll grow into that stuff.
Yeah.
It's hard to be out hunting all the time, and it's hard when you're both the guide and the outfitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of long days.
Because they're different jobs.
Yeah.
They're different jobs. And I know you've only had, a couple hours of sleep in the last couple of days and a lot of miles in between. So I feel bad about even beating you up on the podcast, but it's just such an interesting hunt, and it's so fun that it'd be a shame to not take a little bit of time to sit down and talk about it, you know?
And Sean does, he's handling a lot of that stuff too, like the allocated tags. And then we're trying to get the crossover permit to go hunt some stuff on the Locksaw. So that'll be cool. Do some lion hunts over there. Yeah. That'll be really good.
If you could only hunt one of these animals with dogs, what would it be?
That's a tough one. Be between bobcats and bear, but probably bear, just because I can get into all this country.
Yeah,
it's just as much about where I'm doing it as what I'm doing. Like I was telling you, all these nooks and crannies and just nasty canyons that those dogs take me to. That's kind of always been a bad addiction for me. That's why I hunt this big country. I can't stand hunting like timber ground and all that roaded stuff. I've always just been in love with big country.
What's your most important piece of gear that you bring with you on a daily basis?
No, not a pistol. I used to not pack a pistol with me in training season, because in Unit 4, July is training season only. It's catch and release only. I'd never pack a pistol with me. I don't know, man, as far as gear goes, like good boots, but I might change my mind on that if I try a set of them. We'll see.
What boots do you wear now? I think most people wouldn't even have heard of.
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to Hoffman's.
Okay.
Hoffman boots. Yep. Jim Hoffman and my buddy Will Yergler is over there. If anybody's looking for really good mountain boots.
Explain what corked boots are.
Yeah, so it's a flat-soled boot. They take your original outsole off, or you can buy them corked too. But it's just a slick, hard sole with I call them nails, but they're a thread-in steel spike basically. And there's 30 a side.
And they're an inch or so long.
Yeah, they're 3/8 of an inch. Like you can get redwoods that are 3/8 or a little better than 3/8 of an inch, but you can get them they're ceramic tipped, and those are really good if you want to. Like for summertime, I'll run those redwoods, the real long ones, in the winter because they just get through the snow and they bite. Or sometimes I'll run those in just the toe, but they're just a thread-in steel spike, like a tapered steel spike. Basically, looks like a canine tooth, kind of, without the hook on it.
And that helps not only on the logs and the ice, but also on the rocks.
On rock, they'll bite rock.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're not sneaking up on much with those things on.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. But if it's all about just getting around where you've got a bunch of blowdown and rock and lots of different conditions. I grew up with all the loggers were wearing corked boots, and you'd go into like the convenience store and they'd have wood floors that were just shredded, just absolutely pockmarked with loggers going in there with their corks on. Restaurants were a lot the same, and I hadn't seen anybody wear corked boots in probably 20 years before I got to this camp, and it kind of warmed my heart again to see everybody wearing spiked boots again. And I'm a little bit curious to see if I can put spikes in my barefoot shoes. I think maybe like screwing some tire studs into them might be interesting. I might play around with that a little bit. I wear them to be quiet, and because it's good for my feet. It's not good for everybody. But I think it might be interesting to put some tire studs in there and see what that does for me.
It would be. Yeah. And they, it just helps. Like, and Hoffman builds a boot they call it a Predator, and it's a regular Vibram sole, but they'll put, I think there's 4 corks in the front, maybe 3 in the heel, and so you can, if you're just wearing them for walking around or whatever, you can thread them out, and then if you're going to go, it just helps. It really helps with not having to watch where you're stepping when you're trying to move fast. Obviously it helps with walking on blowdowns and stuff like that, but like you just know wherever you put your foot, you're going to stick to it. So if you're really trying to move fast, getting the dogs, you just stick everywhere you go. You've seen that stuff where it's got those ferns growing over it and a lot of tag alder and stuff like that. You just want to take off fast. You just don't worry about where you put your feet as much.
What's your favorite way to cook bear?
Oh, we make a lot of it. I like Italian sausage out of a bear.
Yeah.
But my mom used to make a really good bear roast. She probably still can. But Italian sausage, breakfast sausage.
Yeah.
It's really good. Cut it with some pork.
With pork fat?
Yeah.
Or pork trimmings?
Yep. Trimmings or fat, whatever you got.
Do you ever grind the bear fat into the bear sausage?
We have, yep.
Does that turn out okay? I've never done that.
Yep. It's really hard you still have to cut it with like some pork fat just to get it to stick, or beef fat. It's really hard to get it to bind.
I've found that if you put it in a sausage mixer and churn it around a little bit, that you can get some protein extraction, and you're not just counting on the fat itself to bind everything together. Have you ever had summer sausage that's like kind of pithy and just wants to fall apart? I think that is always from it not being mixed well enough.
Yep.
And I've got a big mixer stand that goes onto the end of my grinders that will just churn it all up. And
those sticks we were eating yesterday are kind of like that. They're just they fall apart a little bit, a little rubbery.
Yeah. Those are really good though.
Yeah, they're good, but that's kind of what you're talking about though. If you mix it up, it'll I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And you've got some Sicilian in you, so you've got to be talking about the Italian sausage.
Yeah, my grandmother's got an ancient recipe she's not letting go of yet, but.
Yeah, and what did you say she was, 90 years old or something?
She just had her 90th.
And she won't share the recipe, but supposedly it's written down?
Yep. She'll when she's gone, somebody will end up with it. It's my dad.
It's in the will.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yep, it's old. It came over the ocean.
So if you were to put a piece of your knowledge on a piece of paper that was going to end up in your will without like saying what the recipe is, what would that piece of knowledge be that you would want to pass along to the next generation?
Just work hard and be honest and treat people with respect and earn theirs, Yeah.
Well, I feel like that's the recipe. You just
don't sweat the small stuff, you know?
Yeah. Don't sweat the small stuff is a big one. It's pretty easy to say, but I think it's a matter of perspective in realizing that like this thing that feels like a big deal right now won't be if I give it a little bit of time.
Right.
Yeah. We want to rush the finish line on a lot of that.
Yeah. Life is short, Yeah. Just gotta,
You don't get a second chance.
No, we only get this one.
Do it right. Yeah. Do it right. Well, you're winding down on what's been a long, tough season. There's a huge amount of blowdown this year from some big windstorms, and I know you've had to put in a lot of days of extra work cutting these roads open. And I'm sure there's plenty of work that has stacked up on you that you'll need to get done in August and September before you start rolling again. But
yeah, I got to build a house for my wife. It's been 4 years,
Are you going to get that done in August?
If I can just get
that doesn't feel like
we'll see.
That doesn't feel like a 1 month project.
It's not a big house, James.
Okay.
It's small.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, it can't be too small. You've got 5 kids and 1 on the way.
It's going to be a shelter. It's a semi-A-frame is what it's going to be.
Yeah. But
it's going to be more of a shelter to begin with. Just get a roof over our heads, and then I'll add on to it.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. It's about all I can do. It's just tough. It's you can never have. At first it was a time thing, or at first it was a money thing. Now it's a time thing. So you can never have both at the same time. Seems like.
Yeah.
So
the real point of money is time.
Yep.
If you can figure out how to use your money to get yourself more time, you're doing everything right. And
getting there.
If you've got enough money and enough time, you're in the zone.
Yeah.
Yep. If you've got too much time and not enough money, you probably need to go work a little bit harder.
We'll get there.
Yeah. No, you're doing everything just right. Well, it's been a heck of a lot of fun. Thank you for having me at camp and for hosting me. I sure look forward to coming back and hunting again with you guys someday.
I sure hope you do.
And look forward to hosting you down in Wallowa County and showing you around there a little bit. And maybe we can talk Grandma Janie into to making us a pie with some bear fat and some huckleberries. Man, I've eaten my body weight in huckleberries the last 2 days.
Yep.
That's also quite a nice bonus. Oh, one other thing that I did want to call out that I think is pretty unique is if somebody wants to come out here and hunt, they can bring a camper, bring their whole family.
Absolutely.
I love kids. That's really cool.
I got a whole bunch of them.
So, if your wife isn't into hunting, she can go out and hang out by one of these lakes or pick wildflowers or pick berries or just sit next to the stream and read a book.
Yep.
Kids can run around and look at a bear in a tree.
Absolutely.
And, that's kind of a neat little family adventure that they can do in the middle of the summer.
Yeah. I got 11 or 12 kids to a lion tree last winter.
That's cool.
Yeah, and there was 4 adults.
That's cool.
A bunch of little kids. I love taking kids hunting, just watching them.
Do you pull up there in a school bus, or did you stuff them all in the dog box?
Some family friends. Yeah, their parents drove them up there. It was my nieces and nephews, and then some family friends and their kids.
Huh.
Yeah. Anytime I catch a critter close to home, I'm calling people.
Yeah.
Bring the kids. What are you guys doing today? So
that's cool.
I love taking kids, just watching them look at a lion, or a bear. It's awesome. We got a bunch of kids to a bear tree.
You're going to be all right, Jake.
Last summer. We got a whole bunch of kids to a bear tree last summer. I think 9 or 10. That was cool.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Last thing. How do people get a hold of you if they're interested in booking a hunt?
They can check us out on Facebook, Mammoth Outfitters ID, or just Mammoth Outfitters on Facebook. I guess Instagram probably, or mammothoutfittersid.com is our website.
Okay.
Yep. Our telephone numbers are on there.
Perfect.
It's better if you text me. That way, when I get back to service, I'll call you back.
Yeah, they're not cell service out here, which is really nice.
Yeah,
enjoyed that. Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks again, and look forward to doing it again in this place or another.
Absolutely.
All right. Appreciate you. Bye, everybody. Go bear hunting.
Thank you to everyone who has taken the time out of their busy lives to write a review for the show and share it with their friends. I'm extremely proud of how intelligent, engaged, and adventurous this audience is. Original music for the Six Ranch podcast is written and performed by Justin Hay. Art for the Six Ranch podcast was created by John Chatelain and digitized by Celia Harlander. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again next week.